government offices, and investors as well, with all the other people around me. It has been true privilege to be here in Kenya for the very first time. Myself, Mominal, I'm actually from UK, but I have been investing into different countries like Singapore, Hong Kong, US a little bit, and last 10, 15 years I have been focused on Dubai. Now precisely when I talk about Dubai, I'm sure all of you understand what it means to the world the day we have here to understand Dubai, how Dubai has been so far, and why they are standing high and tall in the world. Now that's good. I mean, I'll just place Dubai as an example for all of us to take some lessons and see whether or not that could be very subjective, an opportunity for this part of the world to follow and see things are very much possible. The lesson what I had while I was studying in the university, one of my professors showed me the vision like, yes, you are small, but that cannot be an obstacle for you to think big. And I place myself as an example, and I learn from how other people have done it, how other government have done it, how other investors have done it. Yes, you are small. Yes, I'm small, but that shouldn't be stopping me to think big. Think a little further. Now, because it's an investment summit, allow me this opportunity to address some key issues as soon as I land in Kenya, what I have learned so far. And I'm going to be very loud and clear about it. This is a wonderful country, and I see a lot of people with the smile they have. It's just a different level. You hardly see them in the West. Why can't we use this as an opportunity to attract the foreign investment to come to this country as well? Like Dubai has done. They have nothing. If you know Dubai very well, if you Google it, you'll know Dubai is not blessed with natural resources as much as Abu Dhabi and other countries, other states. They're not. They're self-made. Now, how they have done it? I'll be very precise. They love their country. The leadership quality they have, the visionary leadership they have, that lay out the foundation of that. And also, Dubai didn't have anything but tourism, real estates, and they have this Port Jebel Ali carrying the responsibility of being a global hub for trading taking place. Now, although they're not producing or manufacturing anything, but they have control the supply chain for Southeast Asia and Asia as a whole. So, especially once I landed in this beautiful country, what I have seen, this is amazing. This is so beautiful. I would highly recommend being an investor and the experience that I have come across the last 20 years. Please focus on tourism. And this is the only area which can allow you or give you the platform to bring more revenues from the foreign countries or bring more investments. If people from overseas don't know your country, they're not going to be interested to invest into your country. I think that's a no-brainer thing. That's a very common sense. So I would say focus on, this country has been blessed with a lot of talented people as well. I have some staff members I have recruited here as well. So I know how talented they are. Please pay focus on them, nurture them, take care of them. They are not going to let you down. Pay attention to the youth. Give them the vision. Show them how to think big. Show them how to go beyond the box and do something they probably never thought of. So, having said that, we are a team of experts on board who helps all the investors from the world to invest, whether it's Dubai or any other countries, even in Kenya. I'll be more than happy to see and explore further opportunities through the government officials, high executives, or private entrepreneurs. I'll be personally I'll be personally looking forward to meet you, all of you, and exchange my views and see how we can help, because I believe in both ways help to each other. You help me and let me help you. That's the context I want to leave. And please explore opportunities, see how you can lay out the foundation and make it right for your country too. I have a team in Dubai, I have a team in UK, and all over. I can probably help you to navigate the government officials to come out with the right plan as well, in case that's something you allow me to do. I'll be happy doing that, free of charge, because I have been in love with this country in the last 3 days, to be honest. Amazing people, amazing opportunities. That's what I leave the note. And please, I also thank you very much, every one of you, for hearing me well. Please come across to me in case we need to create a proper foundation, and let's start with the right beginning and think big. Let's go about it. Let's see how we can help each other. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mominul, as well, just representing the investors. Much appreciated. Earlier, we had from Chairman BioVex, Dr. Honorable Mishra. He spoke at length and his presentation was shared, but I'll ask him to just stand and wave, just on behalf of the board chairmen who are here. Thank you so much, Mishra, for that as well. To speak on behalf of the sponsors, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome on stage John Okulo, who's the Director, Corporate Banking at KCB Group. KCB has been our anchor sponsor, so allow me to just give them the opportunity as well to, say thanks and kwaheri.
Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Wycliffe Oparanya, host Governor, His Excellency Professor Nyang Nyong'o, the Deputy Chief of Staff, the Office of the President, Mr. Eliud Owalo, the Principal Secretary is present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a great honor for us as KCB Bank to be the principal sponsors of the inaugural Nyanza International Investment Conference. We don't take these opportunities lightly because it allows us to be part of the team that is formulating and developing opportunities for the people of this region. And as a bank that is in all counties of Kenya, we conduct these seminars, these conferences, we get involved, and we ensure that there is adequate follow-up. We've heard about the good work that the central government is doing through the ministries, the infrastructure that is being built, the ports, the airports, the inland port here at Lake Victoria, the roads, the energy. We've heard about the stability of the macroeconomy, the hard work that the government of Kenya, the central bank, National Treasury has been doing to ensure that the economy stabilizes. And KCB, being the leading bank in Kenya, we're always proud when we play a central role in many of these initiatives, in ensuring that the country had petroleum when it needed to bring in the petroleum, in ensuring that we were able to negotiate with the oil marketing companies through the Ministry of Energy and the National Treasury to ensure that the country obtained 180 days credit opportunities for the investors in this region. Earlier today, we were having discussions around mining, artisanal mining, and Principal Secretary Elijah Mwangi, thank you very much for those very insightful comments. We have 1 million artisanal miners in this country. They need equipment. They need insurance. They need funding. KCB already has a solution through its Chama financing, whereby we will lend 10 times what has been contributed, up to 250 million shillings. If only the artisanal miners can get together and form chamas and small cooperatives. We are very keen to work with you, PS, in that space. KCB has a program for female made and led enterprises. In this region, we have lent 14 billion shillings to businesses that are female made and led since we launched the program in 2022. But our intention is to lend up to 250 billion shillings over the 4 years. We're now halfway through it, and we have already lent 150 billion. 14 billion to this region is a small amount, and we'd encourage all the female entrepreneurs to engage with us through our 33 branches that we have in this region. Whether you're based outside of this region but have an interest in investing here, please engage with us through any of our branches. We are currently lending about 80 billion shillings to different sectors of the economy in this region. We are very much involved in agriculture. We're very much involved in trading, in manufacturing. But we still believe that there is opportunity for us to do much more and work closely together. Agriculture is the backbone of the economy. It is what really drives the ecosystem and puts money into people's pockets. Our message to all the participants here is that KCB is ready for business, and do not shy away from coming to us with your ideas, and we'll see how we can solution around it. The other important aspect as you conduct your businesses is do not fear failure. Many a times you find somebody who has a business, the business is struggling, they're not able to meet up with their loan repayments, but they're shy to engage the bank or the financier. Please feel free to come to discuss with us, and we'll see how we can offer solutions that will give you a bit more time or a different structure in the financing arrangements. Also ensure that you take insurance. We have a bank assurance business that arranges insurance that covers not just individuals' health, it also covers all the business risks that you could consider, including those in agriculture. With those few words, I would like to again thank the organizers, led by Mr. Jaff Olende. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. We have a team that is keen to follow up on everything that has been discussed. Even if we do not achieve 100%, maybe we'll do 75, 50%, maybe we'll do 25%. Maybe you came here looking for an opportunity for employment, and it allowed you to network and to connect and to exchange ideas and business cards. All that is progress. And as KCB, we are proud to be a part of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, John Okulo, Director of Corporate Banking, KCB Group. I also want to ask if we have LREB here as well, and the other sponsors will have their logos playing. I wish I'll just quickly read, but in view of time, allow me to just appreciate you by having that mentioned as well on our screens as we go along. Before I hand over to the executive, allow me to just kind of get to the meat of the program and really what were some of the nuts and bolts that made this conference happen. And the man to handle that is none other than Tom Mushindi, who's the chairman, Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, who will give a way forward and call to action. And of course, just kind of tell us what are some of the key milestones we achieved over the last 3 days. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you very much, Laban, and well done for guiding us over the past 3 days. Excellent work. Waziri Oparanya, our host governor, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, our sponsor, I see that we have our principal secretary mining in the room, our sponsor, Bwana Owalo, all the other dignitaries that I might not be able to mention. We have come or are coming to the end of 3 days of some very exciting, very intense conversations that have really centered around one key topic, which is to evaluate the opportunities, investment opportunities that exist in this region and bring together those that have these opportunities and those that have money to translate those opportunities into actual industrial and investment outcomes. It's been delightful. It's been very intense, and my role really is very, very simple this afternoon, which is just to try and highlight some of the things that have emerged and probably kind of hint at a way forward. I'm doing this on behalf, of course, of the committee that has been involved in putting this together, and we are all aligned on a number of things. Now, this being an investment conference, some of the key issues that we want to look at is whether we actually have achieved the objectives that we set out to do. And in a very broad sense, we are happy to note that we have. We were able to invite, and have a lot of you accept to join us in KISUMU for the past 3 days. So we had some brilliant attendance on the first and second days, well beyond what we had hoped to, because we were working with a benchmark of about 600. We went beyond that in the first day, close to 900 people. And yesterday, we actually did breach the 1,000 mark. Today, obviously, being the last day, is a little less, and that was expected. We were able to have all the booths that were available taken, and that was great. We do have, and we thank those exhibitors that took up those booths very, very sincerely for being with us for the duration of the conference. And hopefully they have picked up contacts and leads that could generate opportunities, real opportunities going forward. We had a number of investors that were here, and some of them, I think we're very happy that we've been able to give an opportunity to our guest from Dubai, who has just been here. And we welcome the promise that he has given to be able to help us as we go forward, because the critical aspect of this kind of conferences is really what happens after. You know, we are here, we're happy we meet, exchange cards, talk, but it's really what happens after that is very, very critical. So by way of some of the actual specific things that we did see some signing of agreements and MOU for collaboration between Equity Bank and CIALA County and Homa Bay County. We will be watching very closely and monitoring how that goes. There also was an agreement signed between a company called TAG and Butch that is in the blue economy, you know, the whole ecosystem, the value chain in the blue economy. And that will also hopefully go beyond the signatures to actual collaboration in terms of financing with the Equity Bank. We were happy to note the specific promises that were made here by the national government, the commitment from the Deputy President around some of the key projects that we believe will really galvanize investment and open up this region for development. There was a specific mention of the two dams, the Soin Koru Dam and the Magwagwa Dam in Nyamira. Koru Soin, I believe, is between Kisumu and Kericho. There is the very important ring road around the lake that has been discussed for a while. That commitment was given that it should now move from a concept into something that is very specific. There was the project to develop the abattoir and the potato factory in Migori that was also mentioned by the Deputy President. We do hope that also in that vein, there was a discussion around extension of the SGR that the Minister or the Treasury Cabinet Secretary spoke about, and that we hope will also be followed up. Can Invest did in the presentation by the MD list, I think there were 6 key projects that they have done some significant amount of work in terms of evaluation of the visibility, the bankability of the same, the return on investment project, and all that. And they offered to work with counties specifically to progress those, close the concept notes, and then also help in finding the financiers that can put together those projects. They were very attractive projects, with all of them having a rate of return of about 15%. One, I believe, was about 25%, which is, by any chance standards, a very, very high rate indeed. We're sure that there could be others, but those are the key ones that we were able to capture. We're still putting together the other reports from the other areas, and once that is done, we should be in a position to build this up. The other thing that I think is key for us in terms of way forward and things that we might have picked up from here, because we are hoping, actually expecting and intend to make this professionally driven investment forum either an annual, or if that is too close, probably a biannual event. And in order to continue improving on the experience and the outcomes, some of the things that we will be thinking about is obviously to make the deal room a core part of these discussions, and do probably a little bit more work before the days itself, so that by the time we come to the conferences, already there's a significant amount of work that is done, and it's only really a question of then of having these things signed. Another aspect that we will be discussing, obviously, is how do we, as the teams that have midwifed this and hope to continue generating others, monitor what happens after this. So there will be, I believe, a need for us as professionals to develop or create a framework within which we're able to track and hopefully shepherd these projects up to the point where they actually emerge as viable and operational units at the end of it all, and also have that unit probably act as a bridge between the various parts that become important to make a reality of some of these concepts. You're talking about the financing aspect, the academia, the NGO sectors, the private sector, investors, and everybody else that are here. One of the things also that has come up is that the counties do need to really have their data on all aspects of the socio-economic aspects up to date. Because where we are currently at this time and age, without data, it's going to be very, very difficult for investors to feel comfortable. So the data conversation has been very key in this forum, and it's something that we will be carrying forward, and hopefully encouraging and finding out what could we do as professionals to ensure and help the counties meet these, because again, without that, the conversations then become very, very difficult with the potential investors. Finally, I think the other thing is that we will endeavor to have investors a lot more foregrounded in these discussions. It's a feedback that we take positively, and we will ensure that going forward, they actually do take center stage, because comments have been made here that, without listening to everybody, we will basically be either talking to ourselves or repeating things that have been repeated countless times before at forums such as this and others. So listening to the people whose money we want to, welcome is very critical, and that for us is a key takeaway. I think that by way of summary, that is all I will have to share with you. And hopefully, I'm sure that my chairman, Jeff Olende, will be convening a post-mortem meeting for us to deliberate on this, and probably then have a much more elaborate, a much more considered document that we can all own together with our sponsor, and then share with everybody else that is interested. So, on my own behalf, I wish to thank you all for your exemplary contributions, for your patience, and thank you all for being such a great guests to us for the last 3 days. Asanteni sana, and have a good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Tom Mushindi, ladies and gentlemen, Chairman KBC, and also appreciate KBC as well for the partnership and sponsorship in covering this event as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we've agreed as well that we will not keep you here past 1 p.m. So please be patient. We'll be done by exactly 1. So over to none other than Michael Monari, who's the Vice Chair for the Nyanza International Conference, to now sort of bring that session to a close on the beat of the meat of the conference.
Thank you very much, Laban. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. CS Dr. Paranya, Host Governor Professor Nyang, our Deputy Chief of Staff, and basically our chair, our patron, the lead patron, it's a co-patron, but it's the lead patron of this conference, PS Mining, all protocols observed. I stand here to basically acknowledge and thank those who have made this conference possible. When we reflect on what has happened since we started organizing this almost 2 years back, there has been quite a journey. And when we see it ending successfully like this, such a big joy. And I think the most important actors in this are the delegates, if you ask me. Because you could have all the resources, but if nobody turns up, that will not be a conference. So much as we were having a stampede towards the end, we had all the counties who initially probably had not sort of agreed or aligned with us, coming in the last minute. For me, that was a great joy, because it means that they believed in what we wanted to do. Having said that, we have lined up a number of sponsors to mention here. I may not cover everybody. And on the lead on that, of course, is KCB, which has just gotten off the stage. And they uniquely came in when we had challenges. And they didn't know whether it's going to be a success or not. But they pledged to be the anchor sponsor. And I think they warrant a very big round of applause. KCB came out for us. and it's going to be transparent. They committed 10 million shillings, and that is really was the seed capital that saw us start this journey. Then a host of others, NBK came through, and claimed assets came through. The Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation came through. The Cooperative Bank, Equity Bank, the Kenya Development Corporation, KAA, Kura, NSSF, Ken Invest, Ketraco, KenGen, the Kenya Chamber of Commerce, and Mr. Onditi has been really, the regional director has been very supportive in this. Special mention to him. Let's clap for him. Let's clap for them. They've been very, very helpful. All these tents you're seeing. Homeboys, special mention to Homeboys because the sound, I'm sure you can all agree that the quality of sound and other visuals have been very good. Special thanks to Homeboys. Let's clap for them. And of course, the government, both national and the county governments. Let's clap for our governors, please. And the last but not least, our committee, led by none other than Jeff Olende. Chairman, if you may stand up with the committee for appreciation. Okay. Thank you so much. So all this made it possible. It's not, I may have left somebody out, but that's what I could be able to put together. So in terms of the way forward, I think Tom has summarized it. But most important, that this is going to be a regular conference. What hasn't been decided is whether it will be annually or biannually. But most important is that the two patrons have agreed that this will take place in Kisii County, such that we make it rotational. Let's clap for our two patrons for that decision. And we look forward to everybody participating. So thank you all, and look forward to seeing you some other time when we have another conference. Asanteni.
Thank you so much, Mike Wanari. Appreciate it. Please give him a round of applause. As the Vice Chair, I also, in that breath, want to recognize the rapporteurs who've really made this happen in terms of just, packing everything together. Dr. Pamela Were and your team, please stand. We want to appreciate you. Thank you so much. All the rapporteurs who've been out there getting all this information. Asanteni Sana. Thank you so much, led by Dr. Pamela Were. I also want to just recognize Yusuf Chanzu, Chairman, National Housing Corporation. He spoke extensively on the affordable housing agenda. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, at this point in time, I'd like now to hand over to the executive, and we'll follow this format. I'll invite on stage my dear sister PS Susan Mangeni, who will invite her colleague PS, and after which then we can hand it over to the Deputy Chief of Staff to take it up with the chief guest. So I'll be off stage. So my colleague PS, PS will invite her colleague, but my colleague MC on stage now. I'll hand over the program to her, and I'll come back as well for the for tops.
So my CS and the chief guest for this closing ceremony, Honorable Wycliffe Ambecho Paranya, the host governor, His Excellency Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, and my very good friend, the Deputy Chief of Staff, Waziri Elido Walo, and one of the brain behind this, my very good colleague, Elijah, I call him Maina. Please clap for him. I was really chiding him outside there that why are you in suit? You're supposed to be in the mining gears. Yeah, and allow me to stand on all protocols as had earlier observed. Hamjambo. I mean, why are we gloomy? I thought we are all saying this has been a success. We should be happy. Why are we gloomy? So allow me just to take 2 minutes to begin by just congratulating the team, the committee. And I'm happy to hear that this is going to be a standing committee, a live committee. You're not going to fold up. I think I was really getting concerned that after today, then what happens? because from where I sit, I believe the work begins. I know it's been a lot of work for the last two years trying to put together this conference, but now the real work beginning today. After we close, it begins. And why do I say the real work begins? Is because all this conversation we've had here, all the ideas that we picked from all these breakout sessions and plenaries, now we need to concretize them and put them into action. Now, as a PS for the State Department of Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises, I will be there and willing to work and support you. Because when we talk about investment, when we talk about business in this country, 98% are MSMEs. 98% of all businesses in Kenya, and I want to believe even in Africa, are MSMEs. Now, if you talk about investment, you have to put on the micro entrepreneurs lenses. You ask yourself, who is the investor? Is an MSME. Who is the trader? Is an MSME. Who will be the industrialist? Is an MSME. Who will be the manufacturer? Will be an MSME. I'll be willing to work with you so that we take all these good ideas that we have picked into this table, the various partnership, the relationship that we have established here to the next level. Now, allow me just to make two observations. Sitting in this position, I've been privileged to move around this region, from all the way from Migori, Lower Kuja, irrigation scheme. I've come to Ahero, I've gone to CIALA, I've gone to, I will say, nearly each and every county in this region. But I want to share with you 4 key valuable value chains that should be the anchor of this conversation. The first value chain is rice. We import every year 78% of the rice that we feed in this country is imported. But you see, this region alone, we have a potential of more than 200,000 acres of rice. And I'm sure, I don't think we are utilizing even 20,000 acreages. So again, investors who are in this room, we want to see how this region can help us in retaining the money that we use to import 78% of rice. If we were to retain that, and I'm sure it's billions of shillings, all that can help us to grow the economy of all these 6 great counties in this region. The second value chain is edible oil. Again, we use 150 billion every year to import edible oil raw materials, edible oil crops. These are groundnuts, sunflowers, all those. Again, you want to ask yourself, and this is a challenge to the governors of these 6 counties, how much of that 150 billion can be retained in this region? I mean, every year you sit down, when you're reading out the budget, you ask yourself, what is the portion of that budget that can get retained in our land so that then the rest, the money can percolate into people's pocket? The third value chain is textile. Again, you see, cotton has been our traditional value chain. Again, we need to see how we embark on the revitalization journey. And of course, the last value chain is the blue economy. You know as much that we do not produce enough fish. We're even importing from China and those other countries. Again, you want to ask yourself, how much of the money that you're spending on importation can be retained here? Having said that, from where we are to the airport, international airport that has been there for more than 10 years, is about less than probably 5 kilometers or so. But for an international airport to be called international, there must be a cargo wing, isn't it? You want to ask yourself, and you know the answer, which cargo comes through that international airport? Chairman, I remember we had that conversation, and we know the only cargo, and I'm not ashamed to say, that lands at that international airport is coffin, bodies, isn't it? We can turn that around. Thank you so much, professionals, and I want to say this, you are on the right trajectory, because this is the only thing that you can do to this soil that took care of you by giving back to the society. I will be willing, I will be there with my CS, with our ministry, and all those ministries within the sector of finance and production to see to it that this does not just become a talk shop, that really actions are going to be generated from this deliberation to help this region, to position it as a region that can contribute significantly to the economic development of this country. With all those many remarks, I was proud to participate in this forum, and I look forward to the next years. I want to say let's do this annually, but maybe now the next forum will not be about talking what needs to be done. We'll be taking stock of what has been achieved from this first conference. Thank you very much. Now allow me to invite my colleague, the miner. I don't know what he mines, but he mines a lot of things. They said, asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
Thank you, my colleague, PS. Our Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Dr. Cliff Oparanya, the host, Governor, His Excellency, Professor Nyanza, Chief of Staff, Deputy, Honorable Elliot, all distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Well, it is a pleasure to be with you this afternoon and appreciate the great work that has been done by the organizing team of this year's the Nyanza Investment Conference. Well, I had an opportunity to have a discussion specifically on matters mining. It seems that mining is not well understood in this country, whereas it has been in operation for decades, but very limited areas where we can showcase our success for mining. Well, in this region, we have a lot of opportunities coming from the formalization that we have done, the regularization of different sectors in the value chain. Specifically, in this sector, the gold subsector by itself, we do have a lot of gold that comes from this region. Mostly of it goes unaccounted for, smuggled into our neighboring countries, but we have taken note of that. The government has initiated construction of a gold refinery in Kakamega. And that one is a game changer because we shall have now a full accountability of our gold. Initially, our gold has been being processed by our middlemen and taken away, denying government the much needed revenue, including the communities from where the mining happens. And therefore, from June, the expected date of completion, we expect that we shall have an accountability of our gold. Now, the challenge for us in this region, approximately 70 kilograms of gold is mined every day, mostly by the artisanal miners. The facility that we are constructing at the PPP has a capacity of producing or processing 200 kilograms per day. So we have an opportunity to enhance our production. And this comes along with the need to capacity build those who are carrying out mining, majority being the artisanal miners. I'm happy the deliberation that we have had between the Kenya National Chambers of Commerce and Industry, led by our good friend, director representative of this region, and the director from KCB, Bana John, that there is an opportunity to enhance the production of our artisanal miners and those who are carrying out gold mining. Of course, we are not left the large-scale or medium gold miners. We have a prospecting gold mining that is almost coming into operations, that is Shanta. They have an application for gold mining license at Vihiga, Kakamega, and part of CIALA. And we expect equally by the end of this year, they should also be producing so that we can feed into our processing plant. Equally, we are looking at the other construction minerals. Specifically, we do have quarries that happens around. Right here, when I was coming in, we have some crushers that are doing ballast and gravels. On the other side, we have so much gold, the granite, that can feed into our industries and into our homes. But more so in the other part of Kisii, we have the Corin and soapstone. So all of them, we are looking into them. And for us to ensure that we support those who are carrying prospecting and also mining, we have established a laboratory here in KISUMU regional office so that any other time you get the samples, it's not a must that you take them to Nairobi. Just take them to our regional office. They'll analyze for you. They'll indicate the kind of minerals which is contained in those samples for your benefit of your decision making. And further, we have considered the applications for licenses, specifically the permits by artisanal miners. We have over 1 million artisanal miners in this country. In this region, we have formalized them into marketing cooperatives. And we would wish that in collaboration with the county government, whom have provided leadership in the artisanal mining committee that is chaired by a representative of the respective governor, they will facilitate and prioritize the issuance of mining permits to the artisanals. So that now, even if they were to be supported, there are those formal processes that should have been done. And with that, we expect when we come here next time, we should find a stand for artisanal miners and happy, well rejuvenated, well remunerated artisanal miners. We do not wish to have that constant discussion of artisanal mining which have collapsed. And with the support of our experts who have competencies in construction of mines, and in this circumstance, we have posted around 12 mining engineers here in KISUMU. We have 3 geologists, and we have also posted 2 more inspectors of explosives so that they can offer services to the region of this area. So I'm very happy, the team that have organized this investment conference. It is an opportunity for us to reach out to quite a number of people who may not have an opportunity to understand what the ministry is doing. And in the support of our sister here, the hustlers, we would wish to bring our hustlers also, so that as they are supported by the government and those financing agencies, they'll also be supported by the hustler fund. We are very grateful, and we look forward to meeting you in the near future. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you, PS Mining Elijah Mwangi. Regards to your CS Ali Hassan Joe. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, please, if we could just have the QR code, please play it one more time. I think we're missing that. We're missing that one more time. Please just scan the QR code. If you could just take out your phones, kindly scan. We value your feedback. Would love to hear from you. This is not a one-way channel. I would want you to scan that, and as you just go along, please just share your feedback. This is very essential for the team, even as we review the conference and do a way forward as well for future engagements to come. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back on stage to recognize this gentleman because he's not speaking on behalf of himself. He's actually 14 counties that's covering under the Lake Region Economic Bloc. So please, Victor Nyangaya, who's the CEO, LREB, will speak and in turn invite the Deputy Chief of Staff. And LREB members, all the 14 counties, please wave. All 14 counties, come on, give yourselves a round of applause. LREB is our sponsor and, of course, convener. So thank you so much. Over to you, Victor.
Thank you very much. Once again, I want to take this opportunity to thank you very much for participating, especially the chair of LREB, who has been here from day one and consistently been with us until now. We thank you, and I want to take this opportunity to thank my co-chair, Jaff, because when Governor Nyong'o, as chair of LREB, delegated me to join your team, I think we've done a wonderful job, and I want to thank you and your team. And I also want to thank the LREB team who are present here and have been constantly working up and about. I think really this is a statement that we must take forward going into the future so that we can be able to conglomerate here every other year or 2 years. But like a speaker said yesterday, not just to talk. I think it was Chairman Nyong'o, that we are not going to make this a ritual so that we just come here and talk. From here, we anticipate that we'll have signed deals. I have seen quite a number of investors that have come from across the world, and we definitely believe that by the end of this session, there'll be a follow-up. There's a lot of potential, like the PS has just said, in the areas of gold mine in this region. And it's a belt right from Kakamega through to the lake to Nyanza to Migori. Really, the potential is high and totally unexploited. So we believe that with this kind of meeting, we'll get people and potential investors who we have even discussed yesterday at length, that they are willing to go to Migori beginning from Kakamega. And so to speak, I think really I want to congratulate the participants, and I want to take this opportunity also to thank the founding chair, Excellency Oparanya, for your dedication to constantly coming to our functions. And it means you still value the footsteps that you left behind for your colleague, Chairman Nyong'o. Thank you very much, and I'll be limited to those remarks. I would wish to take this opportunity to invite the Deputy Chief of Staff, who has taken leadership on this throughout from day one to today, the last day. Thank you so much, Chief of Staff, for your passion and dedication. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Victor. I'll be very brief. I just want to thank a few people who have not been thanked so far, without whose input this conference would not have been as successful as it has been. First, to His Excellency the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. When we came up with this idea, and initially we had planned to have the conference last year, I did reach out to him and asked him to be the chief guest, and he accepted to be the chief guest at that conference. Unfortunately, as fate would have it, we canceled the conference the last week before the conference. When we were in the process of rescheduling this conference again, I reached out to him, and he gave us the date of the 7th of February 2025. And that is when now we started, together with the committee, working backwards in preparations for this conference. That shows you the level of commitment from the very top about the development agenda of not just Nyanza per se, but the entire lake region at the highest echelons of government. And then early this week, actually specifically on Sunday, when now it became apparent that due to certain extraneous factors, it was not going to be possible for him to attend the conference. Again, on that Sunday, he called me, and we had a discussion, and he told me that he would have wished to be here himself, but because of those emerging issues, he had to travel out of the country for this Congo Manenos. He did say that in his absence, because we only had two options, either to postpone the conference so that he participates or go ahead with it. And I did tell him that it was not possible. He actually was requesting that we postpone the conference so that he personally participates. But I told him logistically it was not possible to postpone the conference one more time. Then he said, in his absence, therefore, he would send none other than his deputy, the Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki, to come and represent him and officially open the conference on his behalf. So in that regard, I also want to thank him, and by extension, Professor Kindiki himself, for having been here yesterday. Then the entire cabinet members who are here, the principal secretaries in large numbers, and I must thank most sincerely Professor Nyanza. When we needed the support of the governors from this region, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o convened a meeting. That is exemplary leadership, Professor. He convened a meeting and he helped us unlock the impasse that was existing out of factors which, in my view, were not insurmountable. That exemplary leadership exhibited by Professor Nyong'o has made this conference extremely successful. And by extension, I want to thank all the governors from the Lake Region Economic Bloc who participated here yesterday. And then I also want to thank my long-term friend, CPA Dr. Wycliffe Ambassa Oparanya. When we consulted with the Lake Region Economic Bloc, when it became apparent that Honorable Raila Odinga will not be available or may not be available to close the conference, and Lake Region Economic Bloc suggested that we reach out to him, I gave him a call and he instantly accepted to be the chief guest at this closing ceremony. And it thus goes to show how much still he holds the Lake Region Economic Bloc, of which is the founding chairman, in high esteem. Omwami, thank you very much for being available for us. I'll stop there and I'll now take this opportunity to invite Professor Anyang' Nyong'o to make a few remarks, then invite the chief guest to close the ceremony. But let me note, just before Professor Nyong'o comes, I must also in equal measure thank the committee. These individuals have worked tirelessly for the past 2 years. The committee led by Jeff Olende and Michael Monari have worked tirelessly, donating their time to put this together. To all of you, we owe you a great debt of gratitude. Professor, please come forward.
Thank you very much, Eliud. My dear friend, Dr. Wycliffe Oparanya, our chief guest of today, and former chairman of LREB, all government ministers and permanent secretaries and other officials present, all the representatives of the governors who are here today. I also would like to recognize the presence of my Minister for Trade, Farida, Market and Trade. Where is she now? Farida, stand up and wave. Yeah, she's over there, the indomitable lady. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for having come to attend this conference in large numbers. And I really want to thank the professionals for this initiative. As you can see, it has resulted in very, very positive things that we all will pursue together. Before I invite Wycliffe, I would just like to make certain key observations from this conference that I think we should follow up very soon. I think the low-lying, what do you call them, fruits? Low-lying, what are they? That English word? Fruits, yes. The low-lying fruits are the following. Tourism. There is no reason whatsoever that after this conference, we should not come up with strong proposals, programs of actions to promote tourism in this region. Because I was talking to my friend from Dubai out there. He told me that he has never been to Kenya, but he has never seen a place so beautiful, people so happy, an environment so friendly. And I think that is something that we should exploit and come out with ways and means of promoting, advancing our tourism beyond what it is today. Secondly, the focus on the leisure industry. Somebody just said here the homeboys have done a good job. homeboys came out of the leisure industry, I think. And that is where they survive. So the leisure industry in this nation has a lot of backward and forward linkages that I think we should exploit. And finally, we should focus on hospitality. How do we get hospitality going? One of them is through creating convention centers. And I noticed that when I was going through the exhibition, I saw a huge convention center somewhere in Nairobi I didn't know about. And I'm going to take a card, I'm going to visit it. Because here in Kisumu County, when we were preparing for AfriCities, we worked with the national government, and Susan knows that, to put up a convention center, an exhibition center, and a conference center. It was never completed. It's 3/4 complete. Susan, it is now your challenge, together with Eliud, out of this conference, help us complete our convention center so that we can invite an international hotel to come there and run it. Governments cannot run business. Now, but how do we all do this? I think, again, the other thing that the enabling instruments for making these investments possible. One is infrastructure. I think it's quite obvious that if this hotel was not here, not hotel, but it has a higher name than that. I think it's called what? A resort. That's the word I was looking. You know, when you go high, you become a resort. If this resort was not there, we would not be meeting here. It's part of infrastructure. The other one is public policy. I think if we have a public policy, it should be very rigid about building a capitalist economy. We're not going anywhere. Capitalism requires open public policy. And the other one is the legal regime and the cost of investment. These are very important, and I hope the professionals, the law profession is a very important aspect of profession. I hope we had many lawyers here to realize that the legal regime to promote investments is very important. And finally, colleagues, let me say something very important before I invite my friend Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya. And I thank you, founding chairman, for what you did, or what we did, to found LREB and leave it on a very firm footing. As I invite my friend Wycliffe Oparanya, the founding chairman of LREB, he knows that it's something we struggled for very hard, to have an LREB bank. To have an LREB bank. I don't see why the Treasury, the government, cannot allow an economic bloc. It's not a leisure bloc, it's an economic bloc, not to have a financial power. Because if we have had an LREB bank, let me tell you, all these investment conferences we have had here could have stimulated a lot of investment in that bank. Just recently, we had an investment conference here where we invested Afri-Exim Bank, and the president was here. The president was so happy that the chairman of Afri-Exim Bank came to Kisumu to attend our conference that he told the chairman to leave his plane alone, join his own plane, that they go back to Nairobi, because he really wanted to see the chairman of Afri-Exim Bank. And we made it possible for him to meet the Afri-Exim Bank chairman here. That is something that helped the nation. So, Wycliffe, while you are a minister, please don't leave that portfolio before you help us get a bank here. That is your now mission. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Let me welcome to this podium Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya.
Your Excellency, Professor Anyang Nyong, my friend, the Governor of the great county of Kisumu, the Deputy Chief of Staff, Mr. Owalo. Mr. Owalo, I have known him for many years. We have worked with him closely, before even I became governor. Here he is. And all who are here, good afternoon. There is nothing much that I'm going to tell you that you don't know. More so, I've been told that this particular conference was organized by professionals who include professors. And when you are a professor, definitely you are respected. So I respect and appreciate the entire team under Mr. Walo for having organized a very successful conference, investment conference. And this is not the first conference that I have attended, but this was, can say, was well organized. But I want just to share with you a few experiences that I've undergone having been in the public life for the last 25 years and also having been in the private sector for 21 years. Let me revisit the trip to London. I said I will talk about it today. The conference, the Kenya Investment Conference that we had in London, we were led by the then head of state, Mike Kibaki, and all the ministers were mobilized, at least each area of specialization. There was a presentation of in every ministry. And we talked to about 500 investors. And you can know how expensive it is to organize such a conference in London. I was given the opportunity to monitor because monitoring and evaluation department was within the Ministry of Planning then and National Development. So after a month, we kept on, we had to contact people to see how far they understood what we told them, and when they were coming to engage us in Kenya or in UK itself. We waited until 3 months, 6 months, when the president once asked me, na wale watu umewasikia? Nasema sijawasikia, lakini nimejaribu, sijawasikia. Then I reflected what happened. Maybe when we went there, we talked to them, but we never allowed them to talk to us. That's a mistake we did. So maybe what we were telling them was irrelevant to them, or was not a priority for them to attract them to invest in Kenya. So I learned a point there that always when you have such a function, invite the people you intend to attract to invest in your country or in your county. You must have done the mapping in advance to see whom can I attract. Just don't organize it as a marketplace. Go to the market and talk to everybody and hoping that someone will come up and invest. You will wait forever. You must have a targeted audience. That is secret number one that I learned when we went to London. Number two, when I became governor in 2013, I also obviously wanted investors to come to Kakamega County. Kakamega County is a very big county with a population of about 2 million people. So I said, in Kakamega, we don't have a 5-star hotel. We don't have, even up to the moment. We have only Golf Hotel, which was a 4-star. Because of maintenance, it was demoted to 3-star, and now even it is a 2-star. So I said, why can't I go to Hilton? So I went to Hilton. I wanted to attract them to come and invest in Kakamega. So they told me, you know, we are controlled from the headquarters. So they gave me contact to headquarters. I was invited to go to London, also same London, after 6 months when I became governor. So I went there. I was well welcomed. I met an officer with a checklist. So he said, your name, your position, and you here, you want to invest in, you want us to invest in your county? What is the name of your county? Where is it in Kenya? All those questions. Then they started, do you have an airport? I said, no, I have an airstrip. Do you have a sewerage system within the county? I had even not known that I don't have a sewerage system. I didn't know. Kumbe they had Google around and they knew some of those. So he asked me a lot of questions. Then after that, he said, my boss will be talking to you soon. So he left. And after 5 minutes, the boss invited me in his office. He gave me tea and said, my friend, we do not invest in a village. We invest in cities. I'm telling you the truth. We invest in cities who have airports, who have the proper sewerage system. The town is well planned. Your town looks a village. And they brought the Google map. I could see it there. So when I came back, I had to reorganize myself, and that's why you saw that when I left as a governor, I had left Kakamega somewhere, that I was developing it to become a city like Kisumu, so that I'm able to invite, to attract investors in that region. So the most important thing that we have to attract, and you must make a decision. Which type of investor do you want to attract? Do you want to attract international investor? Do you want to attract local investors? Like Kisumu here, most of the Asian communities are the ones owning businesses here, quite a number of businesses. Of course, Africans have come up, but some of them. So that is the first priority area that you have to go to. Call those Asians, sit with them, and see what is their problem, because they are creating employment for our people. You can't ignore them. They are creating employment. So you talk to them. Call these other locals who have invested there. Otherwise, you have a conference like this, you talk, you go, and nothing comes out of there. We as government cannot do business. Government is a bad business person. I remember when I was in the Chuka Task Force, I was chairing the Chuka Task Force that was appointed by the then President Uhuru Kenyatta 2021 in October. And we went around getting views about the sugar sector. We found that private sugar companies were thriving, like Butali, they were thriving, making profits, huge profits. West Kenya, making huge profits. But those that were government-owned, they were making losses. Miwani, Moroni, Sony, all of them were down. And we realized that there was a lot of government interference that these particular companies could not do well. So the first thing is that as a government, we must make sure that we create an enabling environment for business people to do their business. And our work should be to regulate, to ensure there is fair play, to ensure that there is proper infrastructure to support the business people. And that's why we have to work on electricity, to see that the tariffs are low, to see that we have proper roads, to have the proper railway lines, and there is proper banking environment, proper microeconomic policies that will make sure that the interest rates are stabilized, exchange rates are stabilized, and so on. That is the work of the government, to create enabling environment. And this also happens even at the county governments. You know, some county governments, you find that now they are still chasing Chuakali fellows in the streets, chasing them around. Attitude is sometimes that you have attitude, our Jama, they are making my town dirty, that they are working here. Call them, organize them, show them where they can work. And I can tell you one of them or two of them will come out and be a great business person. Have legislation, have proper policies that will enable them survive. We at the ministry, and my PS is here, we are planning to carry out a survey, and we will involve all county governments to know these small businesses, where are they? We are told there are more than 17 million, but where are they? In which sector are they involved in? So that we can be able to group them, listen to them, and see how we can help them so that they are able to do their businesses, they are able also to create more jobs, they are able to also employ others and create wealth for themselves. Because big companies are now emphasizing automation. So you find that in terms of employing people, is actually fiscal employment of people is restricted. So as a ministry, that's what we are doing, and soon we will be meeting the governors to tell them where we can collaborate so that this exercise is a success, and we are getting also support from the World Bank for that particular purpose. The other problem that we encounter in business is actual finances, and finances is the most critical one. When I was a member of parliament, we are the ones who came up with this microfinancing act bill. We came up with the bill, and now it is an act of parliament. We thought that microfinance will help small businesses. Because of the structural problems, they have also now become a problem. The banks, I'm happy that KCB has talked about support for small businesses that we appreciate. But even if they are saying that they will support, one day go there and find out. By the time you apply the loan, it will take you 2-3 months to get that particular money that you require. And that's why we have come up with this cooperative model. The cooperative model is the easiest in the world, where cooperatives come together, mobilize resources themselves and use those resources for development. I can tell you, Kenya is one of the leading countries in cooperative movement. In Africa, it's the leading. In the world, we are number 8. And that's why the president saw it, that this is the best avenue that we can raise resources to support small businesses, even big businesses. We have SACCOs, like Mwalimu, like Stima, they are capitalized asset about over 60 billion. In fact, the entire cooperative movement has an asset base of 2 trillion, which is not small. Put together, you will find that they are going even to be bigger than the bank. And that's, if you look at even the loans that they are being given, the loans that they are giving to individuals who are now running various businesses is more frequent than the banks are doing. So the cooperative movement is very critical as we encourage small businesses to come up, make sure that the cooperative model is the best model that can help our people. I'm not talking that because I'm there, I'm the minister in charge, but I have been a cooperator even before. The first house that I bought in Nairobi, I used the cooperative that we had in my private company that I was working for at that time. I have been a chair of the LREP since inception. This is an idea we came up with my colleagues, 14 counties, and I'm happy that they elected me and I became chair for the 5 years. And we had dreams how these 14 counties can create a common market. Because in business, if you want business to grow, you must create a big market. So we created a big market of about 14 million people. And there we were, we had wild dreams, I will call, about the bank. And I'm very sad that we were very frustrated to have this bank in place. When we went to the treasury with my friend here, Anyang Nyong, the first question that the then CS was there, I don't want to say the name, what he asked us, do you have capacity, you counties, to run a bank? So I asked him, do shareholders run a bank? Have you had shareholders run a bank? You appoint managers. You appoint qualified managers to run a bank on your behalf. Are the shareholders of KCB running as the bank? They are managers who are qualified. And we were kept there waiting for about 4 hours. It never happened. We had agreed to contribute 20 million each county. 200 million. 200 million from each county. It was coming to 2.8. KISUMU and Kakamega had already provided for the funds in their budget. But it could not go through because of this frustration that we can't own a bank. And I'm very optimistic that if this bank came up, it would have helped our people here to access finances quite easily. It never happened, but you have given me that responsibility, Professor. I will take it up. And since maybe the man who is there now, we can talk same language, I know we will progress it. We will progress it somewhere. Now, finally, ladies and gentlemen, when we have such a conference, it is important, and I'm happy that you have said that that committee that was behind the organization will continue as a standing committee. It is important that after this conference, you keep on evaluating to see how far have we achieved our objectives. Have we achieved? Who has invested? And how much has been invested? How many people have been employed? It is very critical that we have follow-up meetings, especially at the committee level. And also, in the organization, make sure that you have all leaders. Yesterday, you remember when we were opening up the opening session, there were no MCAs, very few MPs, there was no senator. So make sure that when you are organizing, you know, people have different interpretations. Make sure that as long as someone has been given a responsibility, recognize that responsibility, have these people on board, because it is these leaders that will help you to mobilize people, to create awareness out there that there's something there, there's something called investment. And if you want to invest, this is what you should do. There are already people who are investing. These are the people who want to put together and talk to them so that they can invest more. So make sure that the entire leadership from the MCA, whoever is calling himself a leader, is actually involved so that we move together, so that we have the intended results for our people. Otherwise, let me tell you that as a man from this area, by the way, those who do not know where I come from, my home is about 30 minutes from here, and Kisumu is nearer to my home than Kakamega town. So usually Kisumu is my sitting room. When I intend to go out, Kisumu is my first point. So I'm always in Kisumu if I am around over the weekend. So I take myself as part of this particular community, and I will do what I can within my capacity to make sure that we work together with people from here so that wherever we achieve together. Otherwise, I'm very grateful that you have honored me this particular day to come here and close this a very important function. And I encourage you, Mr. Wallo, keep on. There will be criticism in such a political environment. Expect that. If you have been in politics, some people will like you, some people will hate you, but you do what you think that can help these small people. That should be our focus. What can help our people? Professors and ourselves, we can help ourselves. But these other small people, we need to help them so that they can grow. And that's why we are in leadership, and that's why we are called leaders. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, with those few remarks, now I officially declare the Nyanza International Investment Conference 2025 successfully concluded and officially closed.
Wow, a round of applause for His Excellency Dr. Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya. And Your Excellency, we ask you to kindly just stand there. Two takeaways we picked: failing to plan is doing what? Absolutely. So the Ministry of Cooperatives and MSMEs has an open door to Salimie so that we can continue planning together. So at this juncture, DJ, where's our music as our Deputy Chief of Staffs come on board, the Governor, and just to join the CS. So we'll do a photo session. So the Deputy Chief of Staff, karibu, Governor Nyong'o, karibu, DJ, tuende vile tulienda Dubai. Ndio hiyo sasa. Haya. Mnataka kuona wakianguka naye? Aya, sawa sawa. The first photo, that will be our first photo. Kindly. Members of the photo state, can you have it? Then the PSS, two PSS to come and join in. The two PSS, kindly. When you're just there, and Laban, my colleague, will be doing something too on the other side. The two PSs, that's the second photo, kindly. Bas. I'm smiling kidogo. Asante, then right there, Laban, who's just the organizing committee. The organizing committee to join into that quickly. Haraka haraka upesi upesi. Organizing committee. Na wakurugenzi mnaanguka kidogo. Asante.
Wapi Bruno Oliene.
Organizing committee nyuma. And then KCB will follow. Thank you.
Msalimie Elda.
Laban, you're not the organizing committee. Laban. Okay.
Gula lego chama. Engineer.
Thank you so much for listening. You can step down. Just the CSs and the PSs remain standing there. Let's have and the governor also remain standing there. Then let's have any deputy governor in the house. I'm being reminded. Is there any deputy governor? Kindly. Or deputy governor Migori. Thank you so much. Then representatives of the donors and sponsors to join into that photo quickly. And then we have a gift session that will be led by Salaban. Yes. Representatives of the donors, hawa ndio watu wako na pesa, as the CS keeps saying. Thank you so much. Na mtuletee huko kwetu. Asante. I'm told we have MPs. Oh, there are no MPs. Thank you. Representative of the donors, and that's our last photo. Media, I hope you're ready so that we can have the national anthem, and we'll be walking out shortly after the gifts. DJ, play the music at the background. It's too high, thank you. So thank you so much. Laban, are we ready with the plaques? Thank you. Okay.
Let me have Dr. Owich. Thanks, Moni, my sister. Dr. Owich, please. Dr. Owich. Dr. Owich, where are you? Please. Professor Lally. Professor Lally. Thank you so much to our sponsors. We can kindly take a seat. Leave the core, the leadership just there, please. Our sponsors, please take a seat. Okay. So the first gift you're giving, ladies and gentlemen, will be to the Cabinet Secretary. Thank you so much. Next, please, Dr. Rich, kindly pass the gift to the CS. The next gift, ladies and gentlemen, Professor Lally, where are you? Professor Lally. Professor Lally will represent the gift to Governor Nyong'o. Gabriel Chacha, where are you? Gabriel Chacha will be presenting the gift to John Okulo. Gabriel Chacha will be presenting the gift to John Okulo. Hold on. Let me also have Ambassador Grace Okara, please. If you could come. Thank you. Engineer Aoma, where are you? Engineer Aoma. Okay, so Madam Grace will present both gifts to PS Mangeni and PS Mwangi. Okay. All right, you can do it together. Sorry, sir, I called you earlier.